Chapter 1. The sun was shining gently over the zoo. Birds were flying slow circles in the sky. The trees were swaying softly like they were sleepy too. Zookeeper Zoey tiptoed along the winding path in her soft purple shoes. She carried a big fuzzy nap blanket tucked under one arm and a clipboard in the other. Her job today was very important. Today was Naptime day at the zoo. That meant every single animal, from the tallest giraffe to the tiniest turtle, had to get tucked in for a cozy nap. But oh no, as soon as Zoey opened the zoo gates, she heard it. Wah-ha-ha! Came a monkey giggle from the trees. La, la, la! Sang a giraffe at the top of her lungs. Stomp, stomp, stomp! Went the zebras doing hopscotch by the snack stand. Zookeeper Zoey's eyes grew wide. Oh dear, she whispered. This is the noisiest zoo I've ever heard. She looked around and then looked at you. Yes, you! I need your help, Zoey said with a smile. You have something very special, something even more powerful than my big blanket. She leaned in close and whispered, You have sleepy magic. Your sleepy breath, your calm voice, your soft stillness, it can help the animals relax. She held out a tiny glowing star made of light. This is your helper star. Whenever we need to calm an animal, you'll feel it gently glow. Zoey took a deep breath. Let's practice together just once. Breathe in slowly through your nose, now out through your mouth like a soft sigh. Ah, see? You're already getting the hang of it, Zoey whispered. Suddenly, a loud giggle echoed through the trees. Zoey pointed up. That sounds like Max the monkey. He's tickling the other monkeys again. That's not very sleepy at all. She smiled at you. Let's go help him settle down. Are you ready, sleepy helper? She held out her hand. Let's tiptoe to the monkey tree, quiet as a cloud. Tip, tip, tiptoe. And off you went into the noisy zoo, your helper star glowing softly in your hand. Chapter 2. Max the monkey was swinging from tree to tree, his long tail flipping like a jump rope. Below him, 5 other monkeys rolled on the ground, giggling and squealing. Tickle, tickle! Max laughed as he swooped down and gave a monkey a gentle poke in the belly. Hee! They all cried. The branches shook, leaves rained down like green confetti. Zookeeper Zoey ducked just in time as a banana peel flew past her head. Max, she called softly, it's almost nap time. Max hung upside down from a branch and grinned. Nap time? But I'm not even a little bit sleepy. I've got tickles in my toes and giggles in my nose. The other monkeys clapped and shouted, Giggles, giggles, more giggles. Zoey looked at you with a wink. Time to use your sleepy helper magic. She held out her hand. Remember our sleepy breath? Let's try it now. Breathe in slowly through your nose, now out through your mouth like a soft monkey sigh. Ah! Max watched, hanging upside down. Wait, what's that you're doing? He asked. Zoey smiled. This is called giggle breathing. It helps tickles float away. You smiled back at Max and said, Want to try it with us? Max flipped down and landed with a plop. Okay, but I might still giggle a little, he said with a silly snort. Breathe in through your nose. Now giggle out just a little. Hee-hee. Breathe in again. Now a softer giggle. Hee. One more time. This time just a tiny sigh. Ha! Max blinked. Wow, that was kinda nice. He sat down in the grass and curled his tail around his legs. My toes feel warm, he said. One by one, the other monkeys curled up too. They yawned and sighed and snuggled under a big leaf like a blanket. Zoey tiptoed over and gave Max a gentle pat on the head. You did it, she whispered to you. That's one very sleepy monkey. Just then, your helper star glowed again. Zoey turned her head. Uh-oh, she said, pointing toward the tall trees in the center of the zoo. Do you hear that? From far away, you could hear la. Zoey laughed. That must be Gigi the Giraffe and her not-so-quiet lullabies. She smiled and held her hand again. Let's go help her find her inside singing voice. Tip, tip, tiptoe. And off you went again, your helper star glowing softly in your palm. Chapter 3. Gigi the Giraffe was standing tall, very tall, right in the middle of the zoo. She was wearing a sparkly purple scarf and swaying side to side like she was on a stage. And she was singing, La la! So loudly that the birds had their wings over their ears. So loudly that a turtle pulled his head into his shell and whispered, Wake me when the concert's over. Zookeeper Zoey tiptoed closer and waved up at Gigi. Gigi, it's nap time! Gigi fluttered her long eyelashes and struck a dramatic pose. Oh, I know, darling, she said with a swirl of her neck. That's why I'm singing a lullaby. She took a deep breath. Ah! Zoe held up her hand. Wait, Gigi, your lullaby is lovely, but maybe a little too loud. You stepped forward with your glowing helper star. Gigi blinked and tilted her head down to look at you. Oh, who is this little cutie? Zoe smiled. This is our sleepy helper. They have magical sleepy powers. Gigi gasped. Magical? I love magic, Zoe nodded. They're going to show you how to sing a humming lullaby, much softer, like a happy bumblebee. Gigi's ears perked up. A bumblebee lullaby? How elegant. You took a deep breath and said, watch me. Breathe in through your nose. Now hum softly. Gigi tried. She hummed, wiggling her ears. That's it, Zoe whispered. Now let's try again, just a little quieter. Breathe in, soft hum. Gigi's eyes started to droop. Her long legs wobbled a little as she swayed gently. One more time, Zoe said. Inhale, softest hum yet. Gigi folded her legs and slowly sank down to the grass like a tall, sleepy balloon deflating. She curled her neck around like a scarf and gave one last tiny hum. Good night. Birds flew back into the trees. The turtle peeked out and Zoe looked at you and whispered, 2 animals down! You're amazing! Just then, clap, hop, cop! Zoe turned toward the zebra pen and raised her eyebrows. Oh no, she said. That can only mean one thing. You both said it at the same time. Zelda the Zebra. Zoe giggled. Time to show her how to slow those hopping hooves. She held out her hand once more. Ready, sleepy helper? Tip, tiptoe. And off you went again, your star glowing brighter than ever. Chapter 4. Zelda the Zebra was having the time of her life. She was hopping on one hoof, then the other, right in the middle of her pen. She clapped her front hooves together and shouted, hop, clap, clap! Naptime hopscotch is my favorite game! There were chalk lines all over the ground, numbered squares with doodles of stars and moons. A few sleepy meerkats peeked out of their holes and blinked at the noise. Wanna play? Zelda asked as you and Zoe tiptoed over. Zoe smiled. Zelda, you've made the silliest hopscotch I've ever seen. Zelda twirled in a circle. Thanks, I call it Zebra Zoom. Then she hopped straight into the air and shouted, boing! Zoe covered her mouth to hide a giggle. Zelda, it's time for your nap. Zelda froze mid-hop. A nap, but I'm way too bouncy. She bounced in place to prove her point. Boing, boing, boing. You looked down at your glowing helper star. Time for a little sleepy helper magic. Zoe knelt beside you and whispered, Zelda needs help feeling grounded. You looked up and smiled. We can show her how to play slow step zebra. It's a quiet game. Zelda stopped bouncing and blinked. A zebra game I don't know about? I must try it! You took a deep breath and showed her how. Step one foot forward slowly, like you're walking through marshmallows. Zelda tried it. Step the other foot slow like molasses. Zelda giggled. This is the squishiest game ever. Now take a deep breath in, breathe in, and out. Zelda placed her hooves gently on the grass. Wow, she said softly. My legs feel like jelly noodles. You smiled. Time to rest now, Zoe said kindly. Lie down just like you're floating in the clouds. Zelda yawned a giant zebra yawn. She plopped down onto a big, fluffy patch of hay and curled up in the quietest hopscotch square. I think I'll call this one Square Zzz. She was already asleep. Zoe turned to you with wide, happy eyes. 3 sleepy animals, you're doing it, but then... Toot! Honk! Something echoed across the zoo like a musical sneeze. Zoe's eyebrows shot up. Oh my. That sounded like... You both whispered, Ellie the elephant. Zoe grinned and reached for your hand. Let's go finish what we started, sleepy helper. One last nap to go. Tip, tip, tiptoe, and off you went again toward the soft sound of lullaby trumpet notes floating through the air. Chapter 5. Ellie the elephant was standing under the biggest tree in the zoo. Her eyes were half closed and her big floppy ears swayed like curtains in a gentle breeze. In her trunk, she held a small silver horn, the kind that plays the softest lullabies. She lifted it to her mouth. Toot! Honk! It was the sleepiest, silliest, softest song you'd ever heard. Zoe smiled. Ellie plays lullabies when she's almost asleep. It's her way of saying goodnight. You both tiptoed over. Ellie gave a slow blink and yawned a huge elephant yawn. Oh, hello there, she said in her deep, dreamy voice. Is it nap time already? Zoe giggled. Yes, Ellie. You're the last one. Max, Gigi, and Zelda are all snoozing. Ellie gave a happy sigh and sank down onto a pile of soft blankets. I've been waiting for you, sleepy helper. she said to you. "Will you stay with me for a minute while I fall asleep?" You nodded and sat beside her giant warm belly. Zoey whispered, "Let's help Ellie with one last sleepy trick." She reached for your hand and placed it on your heart. Take a big breath in, like you're filling up a balloon. Breathe in and out, like you're blowing clouds across the sky. Breathe out. Ellie's eyes fluttered. "Now let's make your whole body sleepy," Zoey said softly. "Start with your toes. Let them melt into the ground. Now your legs, soft like jelly. Your belly rises and falls, calm and still. Your arms and hands are quiet. Your face is soft. Your eyes feel heavy." Ellie gave a tiny trumpet sigh and curled her trunk like a ribbon. The zoo was completely still now. No singing, no stomping, no tickles, just peace. Zoey placed her big fuzzy nap blanket over Ellie and you. It smelled like sunshine and cotton candy. She tucked you in gently and whispered, "You did it, sleepy helper. You made the whole zoo fall asleep." You smiled with your eyes closed, holding your glowing helper star against your chest. It flickered once, then faded into a soft little sparkle. Zoey's voice grew softer and softer. "You are safe, you are loved, and you are ready to dream." She tiptoed away, her purple shoes barely making a sound. Above the zoo, the stars blinked sleepily and the moon yawned. And you were already drifting into your own sweet dreams. The end.